Hello everyone, welcome to the live stream. It's another Saturday and it's really nice to have you all and just have a quick look in chat. We've got 888 Berg, we've got Dazza who's in chat. I think he's decided to have a night off, whatever we're going to call that, a pike. We'll call it a pike. And what else we've got? John Cuba, g'day to you. T55A2, I don't know how you pronounce that, but anyway, maybe he can tell us how to pronounce that. Maybe it's one of those geeky speak things. But anyway, it's really nice to have you here. And have we got a show tonight? Well, it's going to be all about acid, I guess, 303s. That's kind of the latest news this week, isn't it? So I thought we'd theme it that way. And, we'll definitely go and check out this baby here, which is mine, TB03. Yeah, it's a digital one, but it sounds pretty good. We'll check that one out and definitely talk about all the latest news that's coming out. But before we do, let's have a quick hello to our callers in. We've got, we'll start with Inky. Put you on the spot there, Inky. How you going?
Hello, I'm fine.
What have you been up to?
Yeah, everything's going really well. I had a little jam last night and entered Hardware Jams competition. I've been working on some mono stations and some circuits for a bit, just to get some live fun back.
Fantastic. Sounds good. And we'll just jump over to Darren. How you going, Darren?
Hello, everyone. Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. Not been jamming, but been chatting.
The new title for you is cut you in half there. It's almost like all we've got now is just the head of Darren. we'll have to work something out. Either you tilt your camera down slightly or whatever. But it's okay for now. Down. Yeah, it's okay for now though. And then we've got everyone here. Daz is not in the stream tonight, but that's right. He's in chat. You can say hi to everyone. So we'll put the little chatties down on the square below us. Now we do have our normal segments, so we're going to go through those, and they're kind of themed towards our topic today. So, I'll try my best to try and keep it sort of relevant. And Axel Soft has jumped into the chat, so that's good. So T55A2 said it's an old Soviet tank name. There you go, bit of trivia for us. Anyway, let's get stuck straight into our segments. We'll start with, what should we do first? We'll do FunnySide. I think we always do that first anyway. Let's go. Boom. Welcome to FunnySide, another week of weirdness. So I'm going to do this a little bit differently because I've been doing some vMix training, and I believe now all I have to do is do these things called overlays. So let's see if it works. Starting with our first one. Bang. Oh, it worked. Look at that. That's cool. And we've got some interesting products out there in the world. This has got nothing to do with 303s, by the way. I thought we'll start with this one anyway. So if you are bored while you're on the toilet or the throne or the loo, whatever you guys want to call it, the WC, the bathroom, if you want to call it that. Anyway, if you're bored, you can get the potty piano. Yes, don't order it through my channel because I wouldn't have a clue. But anyway, we'll start with that one. That's the first. Okay, what else we got? Oh, this is brilliant. Okay, here we go. Now, if you're really into music and synthesizers, now you can get hoodies and you can get clothes, and it makes you look like a synthesizer. So there you go. I don't know if this has been popping out. Whoever uses Facebook, I'm sure you guys have seen this ad popping out everywhere, because I've seen these as memes and I've seen these on my actual ad feed that you get on Facebook, and I just think it's absolutely crazy. So let us know in the chat if you've ordered one of these. If you've got the trigger finger on the buy button. I just thought that was pretty cool. Anyway, that's the first. The next one, where are we? I get lost doing it this way. Oh, okay, this one's good. So you've got a map of the world which shows all the roads, and then all the railroads, and then the seaports, and then you've got a map of the world that shows all the synth users who have done completed tracks. Oh, that's horrible. That is so horrible. Oh, dearie me. And look, if you guys get offended by this, I think it worked. Because I think that was the purpose of it. All right, next. Last one, I promise. I do find these things amusing. I actually had this one, I screenshotted this a couple of weeks ago, and I should have done this one with the Volca, we did the Volca video. Anyway, I just thought it was funny. Someone put a post up in a Volca thread somewhere, and he said, I wish we had a Volca repair center to fix all the injured Volcas. I just thought, this is bizarre. So, okay, so the question I've got for everyone out there is there like a lot of injured Volcas in the world that, I mean, is there kind of like this worldwide thing happening where there's injured Volcas and we need to actually go out and repair them? I mean, I haven't seen any photos of injured Volcas. I just think it was just kind of weird. Anyway, what do you guys think about the injured Volcas thing? Maybe this guy's got an injured Volca and he just wants to call out for help. I don't know. Anyway, that was the funny side for the week. I think that was the last one. Well, I hope it was the last one anyway. Quick reaction from... Well, Darren didn't like it at all. He's just decided to duck his head. Inky, what did you think of that one?
I can see kids getting that potty piano for loads of dads for Father's Day.
That's about as good as my play.
I can see that.
Yeah,
well,
keep
you might
going.
be better with your feet.
You got to... Well, I don't know. I mean, like, if you're on the toilet or whatever you guys call it, the throne, and you're doing your business, I mean, how long are you going to be spending in there? Seriously, you know, you're going to be punching out a tune.
Longer if you bought that, though, wouldn't you? You've been there,
Absolutely.
So
let's have a quick look what the guys in chat are saying. Yeah, they're kind of saying. Ridiculous sort of idea. Yeah, cool. All right.
I don't like the Korg thing, but I thought it was quite cool.
Yeah.
To be honest, I thought I'd buy that.
What'd be really cool is if they had all touch sensitive, like
we can put it over our
keys
faces
and all that. Yeah, but you could have it like so you could play yourself.
Yeah.
Basically.
I could almost move that. I could move that down to over Inky and like put her head just above it. Let's put that on Inky.
Do it.
Oh dear. Okay, so yeah, I didn't actually find any memes this week. Oh, we've got Ralph in the chat. How you going, Ralph? Thanks for joining us. Now, Ralph is actually going to be our jam of the week, or our jammer of the week. So stick around, Ralph. We're gonna show you video shortly. It was really nice of you to join us in the chat. We're probably going to ask you questions. So if you've got, I don't know, if you've got 10, 15 minutes or so to spare, that'd be great because we can ask you questions about all the cool gear that you've got. Anyway, so that's actually really cool to look forward to as well. All right, we're going to roll into the news because I think everyone wants to talk about the news this week. Let's get the news happening. Go. Welcome to the news from the Geekery, the latest this week. Well, I mean, look, you'd have to be sleeping under a rock to not know that this thing came out this week. So, I mean, I even predicted it. I didn't predict it, I think, a few weeks ago when everyone was asking about what the new Behringer product was, which was really weird of me because I thought I was talking to some guy at a music shop. He threw me off. I'll give you that. He was talking to me about some mixer, and he reckons the Midas guys were working on some new thing to replace the X series mixer, and I think you guys might remember me talking about that. But anyway,
I think that's right. I said that I didn't think it would be, but they've got another Wing product coming out, and I think you are right. I think it is a mixer, so well, look, you weren't wrong.
You've got a 303 over you.
TB3.
There we go. I got rid of it. All right, well, that's good. Okay, well, I'll tell you the story anyway. So basically, they've been teasing us with all the, the silly sort of posts on their social media and the YouTube videos and everything. And I actually got a copy of this thing called a synth tool from the Behringer developers before everyone else got it. And in there, when you open the synth tool thing up, it has this, I don't know if you guys have seen the synth tool, but it has this graphic. If you haven't got anything plugged in, it'll just scroll through images of all the Behringer synths. So it's got the Model D, then it scrolls and it's got the VC 340, then it scrolls and it's got the MS 101 and it scrolls. And then one that popped up there, which I thought was kind of bizarre, was this one that didn't exist and it was called the TD3 and there was a picture of it. So I screenshotted that and I had it in my computer and I shared it on one of the forums and everyone was getting angry with me why I didn't tell them earlier. But anyway, now we know it's the TD3 computer-controlled baseline acid-based synthesizer, whatever you want to call it. Basically, it's a 303 clone. And I've heard this thing on YouTube, and I think they've got it pretty close to the original. Darren, have you heard any of the videos yet on this one? Let me just take the 303 off your face.
Yeah, it sounds a little bit. I think it sounds a little bit brighter than the original, but
the filter does.
There's that many.
Yeah.
There's that many clones out, so they're all sort of quite close together, aren't they? Really, in sound wise, you're not going to notice it so much in a track. So yeah, it's like I say, it sounds good. Can't knock it. Everyone needs a 303 anyway.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you don't have, like, you've got one of these, don't you, Darren?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you and I've got the same. Yeah. I don't think we need to rush out and buy the analog one. This thing does the job, doesn't it? Do you agree?
Yeah, I wouldn't. It depends. If you was playing live and you wanted quite a few 303s with the cost of the new one coming out, you could buy quite a few, couldn't you, for the price? Well, you could buy probably.
Apparently, you can polychain them.
Go on. Exactly. It sounds quite interesting.
That would be cool.
So, yeah, if it's a 303, I like it anyway. I mean, it's just something I've liked since the early days. So
yeah. But
you can't go wrong. But there's so many clones of a 303, even as well as software. So, and they all sound around about. I'm not saying they sound exactly because we'll get people saying, it sounds nothing like the original. But
yeah, that's right.
They all sound very close.
Yeah, and I think the other thing too is, I think, sorry, I was just catching a comment from Ralph. Ralph is saying, I'm out of my studio today. Hello, I can join your stream live another day and I can answer questions there. All right, if you need to go, mate, that's completely fine. You can watch this back anyway and you can answer questions in the comments when this thread gets replayed. All right, so throwing me off for a second there. So I'm just going to put the news back up again. So that was the first one. I think just if we move along quickly to there's only.
I want to say I want one.
Oh,
I haven't got a 303 clone.
What happened to your
sound? Hello?
Your sound. Hello?
Can you hear me? Hello?
It's really weird.
Right.
Oh.
Okay. I want a 303 clone because I don't have one. And for the price, and I'm going to get a blue one, I think, because It's blue, and I love blue, so I'm really excited because I can't beat the price for that
Inky,
device.
have you accidentally bit crushed yourself with a bit crusher or something?
No.
It really sounds. Oh, geez, that's crazy.
It sounds like it could be.
It's my mic wire.
Oh, okay. It's still doing it though.
That's what it is.
We'll need to get back to the news anyway, so we'll let you we'll let you fiddle with that. Because there's another thing on with the news, which is kind of taking a little bit of a sad, I feel, bit of a sad sort of side of it. Darren, I think this one will probably, I don't know if you saw this. There was a post on the Roland website. They were doing an article about the new Jupiter X and Jupiter XM synthesizers, and there was a paragraph all the way down near the bottom, and it said this: "We are very aware of the very strong passion that synth fans have for Jupiter 8, and some continue to wait for us to introduce a true analog version. This is something we do not plan to do. Our founder, Mr. Kakahashi, has always said, never chase a ghost. And I really understand his meaning." So, that's a bit sad. That's kind of like no more Jupiter 8, hey? And also, he said, I think in the article, he also said TR-808 in the same article as well. So let me just put that quote up again. There it is there. So that's quite sad. But anyway, let's have some reactions. Darren, what do you think of that? Without the I've got to get used to this new thing.
I wouldn't say it's sad, because let's face it, Behringer are cloning everything, so we'll probably get a Jupiter 8 at some point from somewhere.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say it's sad, because Roland don't want to really go down that path anyway. So I wouldn't have expected him to create anything like a Jupiter 8. I mean, they haven't, up until now, they haven't recreated anything really, have they? Analog of their past, so
JDXi,
that's not a surprise.
JDXi, JDXA.
Yeah.
They were the only two analog things that Roland did on their own, and then you've got the SEO2, which was done with Studio Electronics.
Yeah, that was, like I say, that's studio.
Yeah.
So really, I'm not surprised, and it's, Roland are going sort of like more towards the future, as they see it anyway. And you've got lots of other companies that are going to recreate, well, as Behringer are, throwing out everything they can, and it's sounding good. You can't sort of say it's not. So you can say that it's not the same as the original classic, but it's so close. And most people now don't remember the old classic, so if it's as close as you're going to get, I mean...
Yeah. You got that kind of issue where you've got 30-year-old electronics and, people are tuning stuff to 30, I mean, what did it sound like when they were brought out in the 80s? Does it sound the same as now? I don't think so, because these electronics age. So there's that. Look, I think that the whole thing about this announcement from Roland, Enki, I'm going to get your opinion in a sec, but I think this whole announcement from Roland, from my point of view, is, I think for a lot of people, it's now reality. That before they were holding on to a dream, that maybe Roland might actually do it for us. Maybe if we keep pestering them about it, maybe they might. But this little paragraph in this article, it really just sort of now, it puts a line in the sand, doesn't it? It highlights it. It says, right, we're moving forward. We don't chase a ghost. We're definitely not going to be recreating. We don't have it planned, they're saying. I don't think they're saying never ever, but they're saying that we have it planned that they're going to recreate, because that kind of leaves the door slightly ajar. But I don't think it's anything that we can hang our hat on. But for me personally, I feel Roland could adopt that principle of never chase a ghost, and they have that sort of thing where they like to innovate. And I think they could take their sort of ideology of making sure they're innovating, they're going with newer technology, because they definitely do invent some really cool things. But they can also bring analog electronics into that mix, because analog electronics is still being studied at the engineering level as a new thing. It's not like it's a dead corner of the electronic engineering universe. It's definitely it's got advances in technology, and you can merge the two digital and analog technologies together. And there's so many good examples of that, where you've got like Dave Smith, and he's got his synths that have got digital UIs and all analog underneath. And there's so many examples where Roland could still innovate and use analog, and they could bring the two, the new and the old, together, and then take it a step further. Maybe that could be what they might do. I don't know. But Inky, I'm itching to find out what your sort of thoughts are on that. So I'm going to go to you.
I think that
we're still crunchy.
Are we?
Yeah.
Are we?
Look, we'll just persevere with it, okay?
Oh, some techno.
Yeah.
Is that better?
It's still really, really crunchy, and I'm just wondering what might be causing that. While she's playing with that, Inky, I'm just going to mute you for a sec, because it's really coming through. What we might do, just with Inky, do you want to call back in? Is that okay? Because it might be a connection, and just see if that's what's causing it. Cool. All right. So we'll see if we can sort her out. I don't know what the issue there is. It's just gone really, really crazy. Anyway, I'm just got her muted for a sec while she's doing that. Okay, so we'll skip we'll get Inky's comments in a sec when she comes back. So let's go on to the next segment. I think we've got time to sort of go into more about this whole 303 and that the vintage Roland stuff and the new Roland stuff, and we can definitely bring all that into topic with the 303 topic this week anyway. So let's go to the next segment, because I've got a couple to show there, which is our eBay scams. So let's roll the stinger. Alrighty, here we go. Yay, there we go. Right, now, first one off the rank is... It's actually weird. This week... So normally I get these from other people posting, but this week these are both from me using eBay. And I was just like... Okay, so this one's not a scam. I would say this one is a overpriced... it's starting to get a bit ridiculous, these Moog Focus, because this is the last, apparently, Bucket Brigade. This is absolute BS. You can get a Bucket Brigade chip now. So I don't care what anyone says. You can build an analog delay with a Bucket Brigade chip, and it ain't going to cost 2,000. It's nearly 2,000 Australian. So it'd probably be around $1,600 US that for a friggin' effects pedal. That's absolutely ridiculous. It's not a scam, but it's just someone, I don't know. I just think these things are ridiculous. Anyway, moving on to the next one. So that one came across my, the eBay searches that I get. And this one also came across my eBay searches. When I was doing, it's because, you're doing stuff about 303s, and then all of a sudden eBay sends this little sort of feed in your browser. There it is. A TB303 with the Devilfish mod, version 2, custom tested rare, all the sort of, language that they're using. Now this is Australian dollars, so I'll convert it for you. So 12,000 Australian dollars, do it to US. 12,384, so we'll do 12,500, including the postage. Someone will be quicker. We should get someone in the chat to do this. $8,500 US. This is $8,500 US for a TB303 that's had a mod done to it. And the Devilfish mod's pretty cool. It's got some definite benefits to it, like MIDI and things like that. But look, if you're really one of those TB303 fanboys, this is probably for you. But it definitely isn't for me. What do you think of that, Darren? TB303, let me take it off your face for a sec. Still not getting this right. What do you think of that?
TB303
I
think that's a bargain.
Bargain?
Yeah,
rush out
he
and get
modded it, so... Oh, yeah. Well, it's someone was just saying in chat that I can't see who it was now, but the SH-101 might be dropping in price. And was that due to the MS one from Behringer?
All right, let's flag that. We'll add it to the queue. It was Off-World Network that said that. So let's see if we can get that one to pop on here. Here we go. Look at that. Bang! Right underneath me. Notice the price of SH-101 has dropped on eBay. Maybe because of the Behringer MS1. You know what? I do a graph every month. It's probably time I did one. Hey, Darren. With the SH-101 prices. So I don't know if you've seen that Off-World Network. We do a graph every month on the channel, and we actually show the price over months of what the SH-101 is worth. Now we use eBay as one, and we use Reverb as the other source. So definitely worth checking it out, because it's been a month since I've done that. So anytime in the next couple of weeks, I'll definitely do that. I think Inky's back. Inky, how's the sound going?
1, 2.
Ah, beautiful. Absolutely.
It was a connection.
Yeah, I thought it was. Let's get your... We were dying to hear what you thought about the Roland announcement. Let's get your comments on that.
I think basically Roland are saying that they not going to make any more analog stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's basically what they're saying. I can't see them going back in that direction. I might be wrong, but they seem to be investing in new technology, don't they?
Yeah, it seems to be they've got this mantra, doesn't it, about them moving forward and innovating. Are they cutting their nose off to spite their face? Is that the old saying?
I think they've missed a trick. Behringer have shown that, haven't they? I mean, even if they'd made the 303 and they'd made it for £400, people would have bought it.
Absolutely, yeah. So, what I was going to say is we need to catch up with our chatties. So we've got a few other people that have jumped in. And tell me if I've missed you, because I've got to scroll and it's disappearing off the screen pretty quick. John Cuba's there. I think I haven't said hello to you this week. Off-World Network, of course, we mentioned you before. Doc, or Duke, DOOC, how you going? Joseph Lapowski, how are you? And Wagoo, nice to see you back. Mitch Tan just jumped in, which is good. So if you are watching, and jump into the chat. If you've got something that you want to say in the chat room, I can actually flag it up and put it below us, as you can see below there, if we want to make it a topic of discussion. So we are definitely a family of, just because some of us are on camera, some of us can't be on camera, we include everybody. That's kind of what I'm trying to say. So welcome to all you newcomers. It's really good to see you. All right, so let's get to the next segment. We're going to do the jam of the week. I don't know if Ralph is still there. Ralph, sing out if you're still there. We're going to do your jam. So let's roll the stinger. Go. All right, now let's quickly jump to here. There is Ralph, all paused. Ralph, I know you might have left, but anyway, here's your jam. I actually really, really love... Have a look at his studio, guys. And girls. This is really, really cool. He's got some really, really nice...
His original art.
It's some really nice analog gear. He's got an ARP 2600 in the corner there, which is, I think he's actually using now. Let's play anyway. Let's sit back and enjoy the jam. Well, there we go. I'm going to stop it there because it does go on for a little bit longer. And I just thought, for everyone who's been watching Ralph's stuff on YouTube, I've been watching Ralph for many years now. He's absolutely amazing. And I just think, he definitely deserves a lot more followers on his YouTube channel than what he's got because, he's really, really good at what he does. He's excellent knowledge of the older school stuff, and he's bringing it in with the new stuff as well, the digital stuff. You can see he's using a JDXI there and a few other new bits and pieces. And I just think, his jams are really, really interesting. So I'm definitely going to be linking the link to that jam below in the description once the stream finishes, and you guys can go back and check it out, or you can just visit his channel. That was his name. He's in the chat too, by the way, so you can always click on his name and go check it out later. So let's get some reactions. Start with you, Inky. What did you think of Ralph's jam of the week?
It's really good. I'm trying to click on his name and join his channel.
Fantastic. And we had a look at some of the gear that he's got in there. And maybe some of the people in the chat could recognise some of the gear that he's got in his room. I'll just quickly do a graphic. There you go. You can have a bit of a look around. So,
no,
I've named a couple of things. I can see an SEO2. I can definitely see an SEO2 there, and a JDXI, and I think that little red synth next to the JDXI might be a Arturia microbrew. So we've got that. That's just for me. Might be a mini Moog in the corner as well. What else can you guys recognise? Anyway, we'll get Darren's feedback on the jam. Darren, what do you think of it?
I wasn't very impressed with the jam, to be honest. No, the reason is top one, Ralph. I spent more time checking out all his kit and gear than rather than listening. But
well, you definitely have to go back and listen to it.
Oh yeah, no, I love it. Brilliant, absolutely great, Ralph. And also, did you see what he played for the bass, Ralph? What was your bass? Because the bass riff reminds me of Aftermath, the morning after. It's an old track back in the 80s. Yeah, and it sounded exactly the same sort of bass, and it's very similar riff as well.
I think it might have been the MS-20. Because
that was cool. Yeah, I'm joining his channel anyway, so Ralph will be on there later. But yeah, it sounded so cool, that bass line.
Beautiful, awesome. Well, jam of the week, and next week, not next week, the week after next, we've got another really, really good jam of the week in store for you. We'll keep our mouths shut, won't we, Inky? And I don't think Darren actually knows, so it's just you and me, Inky, that knows who that's going to be. We'll keep that one quiet, and we'll surprise you guys like we've done this week. So I know a lot of people do know Ralph out there on the internet, those people that are into synths. So he deserves a lot more followers and accolades than what he gets, definitely. So sometimes it's hard when you're living in countries like Germany, and I live in Australia. Sometimes it's hard to get known. You're not sort of out, in America or US, or it's not as easy. So it's always good to sort of get people out there. Okay, awesome. All right, so let's just have a quick look in chat now. Just while we had the stream going with the jam of the week, I flagged a few comments. So we got wow from Mitch Tan as it was playing, and then Andrew Brooks said liked Ralph's stuff for quite a while now. Always cool sounds. So there you go. So I flagged a few comments, kind of trying to do that while I'm in the middle of the stream. It's very, very busy for me, but if there's any comments that else you guys saw, just let me know, and I can always, definitely put them up, and definitely we can chat about it. All right, so next segment is our main topic of the week, which is, we're going to call that Saturday Sonority. So let's roll the stinger for that. Go. We call this Saturday Sonority. Basically, it's ask us anything. We're here to chat, you're here to chat. This week's topic is the acid stuff. The 303 or the TB303 or the Roland TD3 or the XOX box, or gosh, I mean, how many of these are out there now? I mean, this is a TB03, this is a digital one. There's the TB3, which was the Ira one. I've actually got one of those as well. So let's talk acid.
Chord-bot.
Yeah, Chord-bot. Yeah, absolutely. And there's the Avalon, isn't it? It's that one. The Avalon's pretty cool. Let us know in chat what 303 clone or actual 303, if you've got one, if you're lucky enough, have you got and why you love it. So it's always good. We can flag your comment and definitely talk about it. But this week, because Behringer have released their TD3, and a few people are lucky enough to get some of them before they actually got released to the public. Some videos out there already on it. I'm not going to be showing any videos on the TD3 in Behringer, so please don't give me a thumbs down. I don't have one. I'm just a user like you guys, so I have to wait in line. I don't know if I'll buy one. I said that about the MS-101 and I ended up buying one. Anyway, I probably might. I don't know. I love my analog stuff. Anyway, so let's have a listen to this thing anyway. So we've got I've got this thing hooked up to my MPC Live. And I think I've got Ableton running as well in the background. All right, let's get this going. Now, you guys can't hear it. Okay. Here we go. There we go, a little interlude just to keep you guys amused. I'm probably the world's worst 303 player, so just putting that one out there. But I tried to give you a bit of acid squelch. Did I achieve a bit of a squelch? What was the squelch factor, guys? The squelch, the squeal.
Oh, good 6.5.
6.5, yeah, I'll take a 6.5. It's better than a fail. Sounded wicked, Andrew Brooks said. Awesome. I'll be definitely putting that one on the queue. There we go. Awesome. Yeah. So, what do you guys think? I think Darren, we talked about your MAM MB333 before on the stream. So, you've still got that, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've still got that. Yeah. I've also got the TB3, the same as you, TB03.
TB03. So you've got.
Yeah.
You've got the two things?
I've got the two things, yeah. That said, someone said the monologue does a reasonably good sort of 303 sound. What else? Quite a few things. I mean, you can even get a slight squelching out of the Juno, really, if you wanted to. I mean, it's not going to be a 303 type, but it's still a nice squelchy, bassy sound. But yeah, the thing is, do you think there's going to be a lot of acid music for a year or so, or 6 months?
I think we're going to be inundated with acid sounds.
But I think people are already doing it. They're just using other things, like trying to get it out of a monostation or out of a. But yeah, I think people are just going to be happy to have a proper 303 device that it's easier to get that out on. Yeah.
John Cuba said Overdried SZ, Niles SZ, House SZ, Techno core acid. I like that. I'll be flagging that one. That was cool. Yeah. So what was I going to say? The 303 craze. I think the base station too could do a bit of a 303 sound, can't it? It's got an acid filter. I don't know if it's quite up there with the real one.
Yeah, I can get it out. I can get it out the mono station, but it's not. You haven't got that variety of squelch. You've only got that little bit where you can't alter the squelch. You've got it, and it's. I mean, even the Korg, like the Volca bass, is quite good if you've.
Yep. Volca bass.
But it's not the same. It's not quite there. Whereas,
I think it's left everybody feeling a little bit, they feel like it's just, it'll get away with some things, but it doesn't take you all the way, does it? Like a 303 does. And
to be fair though, the Volca bass was like a proper little clone, wasn't it? Because even the way you operate it is like a 303.
Yeah, it is. It is kind of, yeah.
But the sound wasn't there.
I've actually got a Volca bass. I forgot about that. It's sitting in a cupboard. That's why I forgot about it. Dear me. There's been a few other people. Mitch Tan has said that he's happy with his Ira TB3, which I've also got. So that's, I actually think that's pretty cool that the Ira, it does a bunch of other stuff as well, not just the 303 thing. So you can actually go a little bit more on it. And anyway, that's cool. So I've highlighted a couple of comments. Let's go pop those in as we go. So 888 Berg says, yes, I've just placed an order for the T3. Well, congratulations, 888 Berg. You should be getting that in a couple of weeks' time. Would you order it through Thoman or somewhere else? Let us know. Andrew Brooks is after brownie points with me, so reckons that my little jam sounded wicked, so I'll definitely take that one. I'll take a 6.5 from Mickey, and I'll take a sounding wicked from Andrew Brooks any day. Absolutely. We got John Cuba in his comment that I just wanted to flag that. That was pretty cool. Ezid Styles, Overdrive, Ezid, Niles, Ezid. It's brilliant. I like that. Really, really good. So yeah. 888 Berg's ordered it from the people in Australia. Okay, cool. We won't talk about them because I'm not going to give them a free plug. So it was probably a bit hard to not give them a free plug considering it's actually showing in the chat there. You guys can work it out. So yeah, what do you guys think about the whole 303 revolution happening again, like in music? Do you reckon that we could cope with another acid revolution, or do you reckon it might be different again? I'll start with you, Inky.
Right, well, I love the 303, but even back in the day when Record had a 303 on it, you started to get a little bit tired of it. So, and as a musician, you get tired of doing the same old things as well, don't you? You find yourself doing the same patterns and you try and rearrange stuff to get out of that. So I think there's going to be a lot of acid coming out, but there's always acid coming out. So if you're in the right Facebook groups, that's all you're listening to. It'd just be a better 303 sound. Everybody will be happy and everybody will buy one that I know, I think.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. What about you, Darren? What are your thoughts?
Pretty much what Inky said, really. I think you'll get like a deluge of, especially with them being so cheap, a deluge of 303 tracks from. You'll see it creeping into all sorts of genres, I think, and then it'll just sort of slowly disappear again, and then go back to the underground to where everyone's still playing the 303, where they have been since 1988 or earlier than that. But I mean, I like a lot of the early tracks and stuff that I used to listen to was quite 303 based, 909 based. So, and that's where the sort of house acid came from. People like Hard Floor, where it was just basically a 909 and a 303. Tracks on their album is like back to the old style is really good. So I think it'll be an interesting, probably see where the 303 seems to creep into everything. won't be surprised if you see it on some pop records as well.
Yeah, I think what might be a nice, interesting question to ask everyone is, where was your first 303 experience? Was it live? Was it an album that you bought? And if so, who was that? Or was it something that you did yourself?
I actually had my hands on one back in the day. Yeah, in the early 90s, and I had it for about an hour, and I couldn't understand it because the sequencer was mad. Because you know, I'd never seen a sequencer like that, so I managed to get a sound out of it. But as for like using it, I was like, I can't use that. I don't understand it.
Yeah,
but they're all different divisions. I didn't get that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my first real experience with one.
So you heard it. What you're saying is you heard it. You're in actual real life first before you heard it on a record, or that's your first experience.
No, I can't remember my first acid record because that's like I just can't.
That's
but
brain cells.
I remember I was a DJ, so I mean, so I listened to thousands of records. I couldn't tell you which one was the first acid sound.
Yeah.
Wasn't it, guy? Yeah, I've got a track. Is it? It's been down in the kitchen actually because I've got to write an essay on this.
Well, you should go get it.
The first official. Right? Do you want me to go and get it?
Yeah, why not? You go get it. I thought. Keep going. I
did have a real one in my hands in the early 90s because a fella DJ had got one, and I could have used it, but I just didn't understand it at the time.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it is one of those. It is one of those kind of convoluted things. Just remember too, though, when Roland actually invented this thing, it was invented as a bass guitar replacement. I'm not joking. That's exactly what Roland invented it for. I mean, look, let's just have a quick look at this thing. This is not exactly the same as the original TV3, but it's pretty much the same layout.
Well, they were. I was researching this. Sorry, I was researching this yesterday for my essay, and like the 303 and 808 were only around for about a year and a half. They were sold.
Yep.
And then they were like, it was a complete flop. Roland, lost money or whatever. But they were only around for a year and a half.
Yeah, crazy, isn't it?
1982, I think.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. Yeah. I think if you can go grab that track, but Darren and I were talking offline during the week about some house sort of music, and I came across this really, really old CD of mine, which dates back to the late 80s, and there's tracks on here which I haven't heard since I was a teenager. There's what was that one we were talking about, Darren? It was Humanoid, yeah, by Stacker Humanoid. I don't even know if those guys are still around. I'm not going to play it on the stream. I'll get flagged, but yeah.
But no, well, everyone was going to remember Josh Wink, aren't they? And I'll put it up. Josh Wink. You don't remember Josh Wink?
I don't know.
Higher State of Consciousness? You must.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yes. Okay, now I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, Josh Wink. So that's one that a heck of a lot of people are gonna, remember, go to.
Yep.
That's the 90s. So.
Yeah. Okay.
And I heard Acid. What was the first Acid track? I think it was Risque 3, Risque Madness, back about 1985, I think.
Yeah.
It was the first time I heard a sort of acid type noise. I wasn't exactly sure what it was till later, and then from then on, liked acid. Sounds a bit dodgy, doesn't it?
I think we've talked about acid stuff on the stream like many weeks ago, where we were talking about the club scene. I think Inky might remember us talking about this. It's like my early sort of adult life. I used to go to dance literally just about till my shirt fell off with sweat. Just dancing to crazy acid music, and I mean I can't even remember half of the things that I danced to because I was probably completely drunk off my head at the time. But that's what we did, you know. We were young and stupid and danced to acid. Some people even took it. But anyway, Inky's looking for her track, so we'll do that.
I've got it.
Oh, okay, she's got it. Let's do it, Inky.
Yeah. Right. So according to the records, it's Acid Tracks, TRAX, 1987, and it's Future Tracks. It's spelled PHUXTRAX, and I used to have this somewhere.
Wow.
So let me find.
Yes, I have that too.
You'll have to find it, but just remember we can't play any of these, but people can go check them out. Yeah, I was listening.
Before they used acid as well.
I'll show you guys the CD that I was talking about. I don't think there's anything wrong with showing a CD. I don't think that breaks any copyright because you can't buy it anymore. It was called The Greatest Hits of House. Now, when I'm getting like reflection, sorry, try not to get reflection. There you go. When you try and get it straight. When you guys, I think you get.
Oh my God! I had the vinyl.
Yep. When you guys get CDs like that, it's just a whole bunch of compilation. But you think, okay, it's all house music, but there was so much acid on that. Darren knows what I'm talking about. There's probably 50% of that is house, and the other 50% is acid. Or there's like this sort of merge between house and acid happening. It's kind of I reckon they're just going through this discovery stage around the sort of mid to late 80s. That's kind of when it was all happening. And then the 90s, it just took off, didn't it? It just went, poof, it just blew up, and you had these, you know, massive acid groups like 808 State and, you know, those sort of people. So it was really, really interesting times.
Well, 88 it blew up in the UK. 88 was the sort of, you know, when it started really kicking hard, and, you know, like Alternate, formerly Nexus 21, a guy called Gerald, early 90s, Voodoo Ray, must remember that one.
Yeah, Voodoo Ray, yeah.
Yeah, so 88 onwards, but like I say, it was underground before that. But yeah, that CD, I think I've got a collection of them somewhere, from like House Volume 1. So about 7, I think.
Yeah, I got some of those. I'm doing a bit of a CD. I don't know if you guys can see. There's a bit of a. No, I can't really show you. There's a bit of a mess on the floor over there. There's like about 6 boxes of CDs. You know how Darren's got all these CDs behind him, nice and neat, because Darren's a neat freak. I've got them all on the floor and in complete and utter chaos. So that's my way. But going through, I don't know. I put my CDs away. I don't know if that was a bad thing. Here we go. Darren's showing us something. Let's get him.
Here
we go. Oh yeah.
Well, Alternate, yeah.
Alternate.
That's better. Out there. Go wrong.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that's cool. But
I've got a picture disc actually.
Before we talk about Alternate, I just want to finish what I was saying. So I don't know who else in chat has put their CDs away. You know, might have been many years ago. Might have been 5 years ago, 10 years ago, whatever. They put them away in boxes, thinking to themselves, I know some of you may have even sold your CDs to pay for a phone bill or something, but, you know, we will have to survive somehow. But, I mean, I just put mine away into a box, and they've been sitting in like a storage cupboard in my house. And they've been sitting there for probably, I reckon, about 5 or 6 years. And I pulled them out, and, you know, I've talked recently on the stream about using my old Technics CD player. Half of them won't even play on the Technics CD player because the Technics CD player is so old it doesn't know about the future of CDs. So the bigger ones that came out, or the longer play CDs that came out, so it doesn't know how to read them. So I've got to use, you know, if I want to listen to really, really old CDs, I can use it on Technics and I get that beautiful Technics sound. But if I want to listen to more modern ones, I've got to use like a Sony CD player or something like that. It's quite funny, but yeah, I just find it kind of, it's almost it's a retro experience, but you know, it's not for us. CDs probably still feel like they're reasonably newer technology compared to what's, you know, we experienced before that. We had tape and vinyl before that, so yeah, it's kind of weird. It was just a bizarre thing that I went through just in the last couple of weeks. What are you guys saying in chat? Still have you? So Wagu's saying he still has all his CDs in one place. But the tray on your main CD player needs a new rubber band, so you can't use it. Okay, cool. Yeah, vinyl's definitely got. I think that vinyl's definitely got the world going crazy at the moment. I was watching a YouTube video the other day when I was bored on someone who's showing how to clean. You know how, Inky, you know how you showed that cleaner the other day? Have you still got that there?
I have.
Is it just there? Yeah. I was watching a YouTube video the other day, and it was about someone showing how to use. It was not the same as yours. It was a different one. I guess there's different cleaners out there, right? But this one was like a tabletop one, and then you lifted a lid up, and then you put the vinyl record in, and you closed it, and you pressed the button, and it did a whole bunch of stuff, and then you pulled it out. And yeah, have you seen that one? Probably haven't seen that one.
Yeah, no, I've looked into loads of them. Some of them are really expensive though, because they do it, I don't know, magnetically or some way. But I looked into the way I felt it was safe to do my records.
Yeah.
Without spending 300 quid on a record washer. But yeah, some of them are really cool. Some of them are like magic. But some of my records are really old and some of them are quite dirty. So I'm not sure how well it would work. So I had to do mine with a bit of alcohol in them.
Yeah. While we're at it, I think I might be able to do this. Boom. There you go. Look at that. I can put the little social media posts up over. It sort of covers Inky a little bit, but I can turn it off. So we're saying he's still
that's fine.
Oh yeah, we already said that one, didn't I? So there you go. I can make that disappear. See, I've learnt stuff. I'm getting good, guys. Watch out. I'm getting good. I just got to remember to turn it off. I change screens. Oh my god. So yeah, Japan is fixated definitely on CDs. If you ever go to Japan, there's like massive, you know, they all buy CDs still. I think I mentioned on a stream a couple of weeks ago where I went to a record store in Australia. It's called, I'm not going to say it because I don't want to give people free plugs. So you go in there, and usually when you went into this shop, you guys will probably have the same experience. They usually have CDs everywhere, right? And I've noticed that the CDs are shrinking and the vinyls are getting bigger. That was kind of the phenomenon that I noticed in this shop. Is that happening in your part of the world? Are CDs shrinking and vinyls growing? Or is it
to
same
some degree? Yeah, I'd say that. But I think the vinyl that's coming out is just back catalogue because they know they can make some cash. I wouldn't say you're seeing a lot of on the main shops, and I won't say you're seeing a lot of vinyl from like new music. I'm not saying it's not out there because it is. People still are doing it on vinyl now, but a lot of the record companies are sort of going, "Hey, we'll cash in on this and doing back catalogue." So a lot of the stuff I'm seeing, it's like, you know, it's always originally been out on CD, vinyl years ago, and they're just now vinyl's getting more popular. They're just putting it out.
Yeah, and I think, Inverted Pope said exactly probably what I was going through, where he said he's just resurrected his 20-year-old hi-fi system, and I don't know why that's come up with the other one. Sorry, I'll get rid of it. Delete. So it shows that one. Come on, refresh. Go back. Go back to the comment. Here we go. He's resurrected his 20-year-old hi-fi a few months ago, and it sounds awesome, even my old vinyl, and I mean old. So let us know how old you mean old, because I've got some pretty old stuff. So there you go. Well, we're covering Darren's face.
My 25-year-old hi-fi was never resurrected because it's never been out of service. It's still what I use today.
Yeah. I mentioned to you guys that I had to kind of repurchase some of the stuff that I used to, because I used to work in a hi-fi store when I was in my teens, and I used to sell Technics and I used to sell NAD, Pioneer. I think Sony came in a bit later, but it was never, in the early days, it was never classified as being as classy as the big the 19-inch rack mount hi-fi gear. I think Denon was kind of starting to show itself a bit as being relatively classy, and then obviously Marantz was there. But the store I worked in, they didn't like Marantz for some reason, so I never got to sell that. But Technics was the big one. I used to sell heaps of Technics. We talked about the turntables a few weeks ago, which was they would sell like hotcakes. I'd sell at least 2 or 3 of those every shift that I worked at that shop. That's how many of those things were going out the door. So you can just imagine how many Technics would have made in the 80s. They would have made, millions of them. Millions, I reckon. It'd be all in some landfill somewhere. Someone's going to go lift up some rubbish and they'll find all these Technics turntables and go, yes! Anyway. Oh, Darren's got some acid.
No, I'm just messing about.
Well, Goo's saying he's trying to rebuy his Marantz CD at the moment, so good luck with that. It's hard to get some stuff. There's a tape recorder that I once used to sell, and this thing was like a dual Pioneer tape deck, and it had all the bells and whistles, and it did auto reverse, and it used to seek. You could actually set counters in memory, and it would seek to the track in the counter. It would actually find gaps in songs and all this. It did all this magic stuff. This is tape, cassette, right? And I'm so dying to get my hands on one of these, and I don't think many of them were sold.
That's what I've got. That's my tape deck on the Pioneer one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it auto finds the next track, anything you want it to do.
Yeah.
That's why I bought it. I went to 3 shops, and 3 times the guys were trying to go, oh, have you looked at this stereo Technics one or whatever? I was like, no, I want the Pioneer one, that one. And you had to go somewhere really weird to get it. But I wanted it for that feature. For it just finds the gaps in the tapes. So you can literally find, well, you can have 2 tapes recording. And they record one after each other. Or if there's a gap, you can find it and record it. It's brilliant.
Yeah, they were so good. But yeah, the thing that always disappoints us when we put a tape in is the hiss. And then you hit the Dolby switch, and then you think, no, that's just like, come on, you've just knocked about 90% of the dynamics out of that track now. You can't do that. So you either have hiss and just hope the music's loud enough to overpower the hiss, because the hiss has a noise floor, right? Or you hit the Dolby switch and everything sounds. It's just crazy. I don't know how we put up with that.
I'm a bit scared to put my tapes in a tape player now.
Really?
In case they get chewed up, but I don't really know how I'm going to play them and enjoy them unless I do.
Yeah, I lost 2 tapes doing that.
Just the pro
That's what I
tip
mean.
is just keep a bit of isopropyl alcohol around and some Q-tips, or we call them earbuds or whatever you want to call them. And then you just keep it clean around the rollers, keep it clean around, those, you've got the little metal prong and the rubber roller. So keep it clean around both of those. Keep your heads clean, and make sure your rubber belts are always, reasonably good condition. It will never chew a tape if you do that. The motors,
because you know that feeling, don't you, when you put the tape in and you listen to it, and then also you go, and then you pull it out. No, that was my best.
You get your pyro. Get your pyro out.
That's the last one in existence.
And the thing is, it's already crinkled across that area then, so every time you play it either sounds a bit weird, or you're too scared that it's going to start chewing it again and snap.
I've tried ironing tapes before now. Have you tried ironing a tape?
I've cut and spliced tapes, and I thought that'd be
I've
cool.
done that.
And then when I listened to it, I went, oh, it sounds really awful.
Yeah,
and then when I spliced it, sometimes chewed.
You don't want to chew this one up.
Yeah.
This one is not allowed to be chewed. That one, this one's, look at they couldn't even afford to do a colour print. It's so old, this tape. They couldn't even. It still works. I've checked it out. It definitely still works.
I've got that on tape as well. The thing is, the tape I lost recently, right, which I shouldn't have put it in the. I just had a little tiny tape deck, and I knew I shouldn't have put it in, but I really wanted to listen to it, and I was going to take some samples off. It was Liquid is Liquid album.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the album was called now, but yeah, it was Liquid is Liquid, and it flipping ripped it up, and it's made a right mess of the tape.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I was going to say the only time tapes ever sounded good is when you and it was rare that you bought a tape like a production tape that was metal of some sort. You know how I think I showed you guys the Technics tape recorder that I've got, and it's got the different tape. It's got the metal, the chrome, all that sort of stuff. But when you buy those commercial ones, they very, very rarely did them on chrome or metal tape. They did them on the basics, didn't they? So you never had that perfect sound out of them. But that
never put it in anything like that. Is what I'm saying.
Let's see.
Never put it in anything like that. A little tiny tape there.
That's like a Walkman, isn't it?
How did you not know? How did you not know that was going to be like? You know what I mean? That was rubbish in its day. That wasn't even good in its day.
I know, and I knew I shouldn't have put it in, but I haven't got any tape deck around because the last one I had Give Up the Ghost, and I got rid of it years ago, and I thought I really want to listen to this tape, and and I was like, it was sat there looking at me, and I put it in gently, and I daren't press play, and then I went, oh, go on, I'll give it a go. Hit play. I think it got about 20 seconds, maybe a minute into the track, and then, well, it was all over.
Oh, I'm sorry. But you knew better.
I did. Yeah. I did know. I knew as soon as I put it in, I thought, this is going to go badly. And it went very badly.
I thought I'd bring out a bit of a blast from the past. This is my Sony Walkman. And
car ready.
Car ready. It actually comes with a car adapter. And actually, I haven't opened this for a while. And you know what, Darren, this is gonna surprise you, but I've been looking for a CD and I found it in here. And I just wanted to. This was a kind of little surprise for you. This was the CD that was in there.
All right. Yeah. Please. Yeah, I thought you didn't have the Please Actually CDs.
I didn't think I had it either, and it was in there the whole time. So there you go. So
do you know what? Do you remember the first? Do you remember the first car CD players when they was in like a full unit?
Yeah.
And you put the CD in, but it jumped. They were really rubbish. It jumped, so every time you hit a slight bump, the CD would jump.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember driving round as slow as anything, just so I can listen to CDs.
You go to the shops. And you had to go into the car park so you avoid the speed humps. You'd be sort of going in around the cars and stuff, so you wouldn't go over the big speed humps, so your CD player wouldn't jump.
People will set off at the lights and they're going, "What's this idiot doing here? He's only doing about 20 miles an hour, pulling away from the lights very slow." And it's so you can listen to the CD.
This thing is actually really
good.
I've
got a load of CDs.
That thing doesn't. You'd have to throw that against the wall for that to jump. That thing. This thing is really, really good. But they made this in the 2000s, so there you go. So it's not that old. What were you saying, Iggy?
Oh, I've got a load of CDs in the car because I've got an 8 CD changer. You know the CD changer you had in the glove box?
Yeah.
My car came with one of them.
Yeah.
So my whole CD collection is in the car. But I had a Panasonic tape deck. Do you remember, like, the metal ones that came out just after Sony? Iowa did one, a really good one, a Walkman. And Panasonic did one, and it was metal. And it was like built like a tank.
Oh, I remember those.
And I'm really annoyed I haven't got it anymore because it had, it's like the top of the range, and it even got metal hinges. Like where it opens and it got metal hinges. Everything was metal on it.
Yeah.
I'm gutted. I don't know where it's gone. I've looked everywhere for it.
That's amazing.
Because it was cool, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to have the Iowa. Is it Iowa? Iowa one built like that. And that was soft touch
a
buttons
really good one.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, didn't we go off on a tangent today? Tapes and CDs. Oh, jeez. And we were supposed to be talking about Acid and 303, but then again, you had to listen to it on something, didn't you?
That was the era, though, wasn't it? That was when Acid was out.
And see it. Oh,
anybody who remembers tapes remembers 303s.
Damiano's saying that he used to recharge the AA batteries. Do you remember how we used to go through AA batteries like anything, didn't we?
Oh, yeah. I still do.
Oh, the Volkers. Some guy, I was reading some post during the week, some guy was complaining about how many batteries he buys for the Volkers. And I'm like, just plug it into a DC power socket. He goes, I didn't know you could do that. It's like there's a massive circle on the top of your Volker that says DC. Like, what? Oh, dear. Didn't know you could do that, eh? Okay. Moving right along. Oh, dearie me. So
this thing eats batteries.
Oh, the
that
Zooms.
is right, and it's great because you can power it from that there.
Yeah.
But the only thing I want to power it with also requires to be powered like with a power pack as well. So I wouldn't need batteries. But that you put 2 new batteries in that, they last about 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
Get that thing I was showing you guys about. Where has it gone? It's always up here usually. I can't find it. You know that thing that I always show you guys, the USB power brick thing that I've got?
Yeah, I've got one.
Yeah.
But I need another one. I need more than one.
You can get a I'll have to do another stream on this another time. But you can get there's a cable you can buy from AliExpress where it'll convert 5-volt USB power to 9-volt DC. Right? So you can use any of those USB chargers and plug the USB side of this adapter cable into the USB battery thing, and then you've got a DC 9-volt at the other end, so it will power any of your 9-volt pedals.
Or a digitone?
Yeah, it will do that. The one that I was showing you does... do you remember how I was showing you how it does all the octatracks and the analog 4 and... because the one I've got is a 12-volt one, but it's got a 12-volt DC output, plus it's got 2 USB, so I can actually do... Technically, from this, because it's 75 watts, it just has so much grunt in it, I could power an octatrack, I could power a pedal off the 9-volt with my converter cable, and then I could power something off the USB, like a strike fed or something, all on one battery pack. Brilliant. And they're only about $100, which is about 50 quid your language, so, you know, it's worth it. I'll have to find it. Yeah, it's around here somewhere. Definitely here. Oh, here it is. Let me show you guys. This is obviously an Australian company, but let's get the camera to focus. Come on, do it. Focus. Focus. There we go. No. So that's 12 volts there. And then, I don't know why it doesn't want to focus. Come on. And these are that's your input to charge up the little one. And these 2 USBs are 2 amp and... I don't know what QC means. Oh, so 2 amp and 2.1 amps. Okay, so they're both 5 volts. So you plug your USB to 9-volt adapter cable in one of them. You've still got a USB, so there, and you've got 12 volts over there. Actually, it's not 12 volts. Is it going to do it? There we go. There you go. So you can actually change the voltage on it from 12 all the way up to 24 in steps of 2, I think. So it actually does power 24 volts as well. And it's 75 watts of power. So that would be enough to power your pedal for days. Days and days and days. Your pedal would only probably draw about 200 watts. Sorry, what am I saying? 200 watts. What am I saying?
200 watts?
200 what am I saying? 200 milliamps, I mean to say. 200 milliamps.
That's the beast of all pedals, that.
Yeah, I was going to say. That was a Freudian slip, that one. 200 milliwatts, I meant to say.
Roll up on stage and go, wait for this one, I press this.
You bing! All the circuit breakers blow.
Oh, club goes down.
No wonder Inky's going through batteries. There you go. So Inky, that would probably cost you about 50 quid to get something like that.
Yeah, I've been thinking definitely need more of them.
I'll see if I can dig up. I'll dig up the cable and I'll show you. I'll do a pic and I'll send it to you on Facebook. So you've got all the info, and then you know where to order it and everything, so you can check it out. It's definitely worth it. I've used this for Octatracks, and this is actually what these are for, is to power your laptop if your laptop battery runs out. That's how powerful these are. So that's the actual.
Yeah, that would work on the Force, because I've looked on the back of that. It's only 12 volts. Everything's.
Oh yeah, it would.
Everything's really only 12 volts, apart from the DeepMind and my Pioneer mixer. I think everything else can be run kind of off 12 volts or less.
Oh dear. Triple Eight Berg saying turn it up to 11. All right. So we've probably reached the end of the stream, unless you guys have got anything to add. I think we've pretty much covered it. So we had a bit of a chat about acid. We had the jam of the week from Ralph, which was awesome. Don't forget to check out the full. I think it goes for about 10 minutes, that jam. So just so you know, if you are going to put a jam, 10 minutes. If you are going to put a jam for me for jam of the week, let me know through my socials, which are on my channel, or you can just tweet it using JOTW, Jam of the Week, and ranzee as the hashtag. Beautiful. And I think we probably are good to finish the stream. Are you guys happy to do that? Quick.
Yeah, I was just looking at what you were saying there. The Behringer also mentioned 12-bit sampler drum machines in the chat, maybe an SP 1200.
Oh, geez, I hope they don't do that. That'd be really, really sad, because there's that guy he's putting so much effort into remaking.
The guy from Isla
Instruments, yeah, and he's a really lovely guy too. He's a
he's a really nice guy.
He does it from his garage. This guy's putting his heart and soul into that.
And he's making it the way he wants to make it. But
yeah.
And
I hope they
you
don't.
don't want Behringers to come out with one. Otherwise, it's like a lot of work. I won't say it won't be wasted, but a lot of work where it's not going to get its benefit.
Yeah, but a lot of the purists will go for the Isla Instruments one, because he's put it's sampling, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you know how people can be, and I mean, purists are purists. And yeah, if it was me and I was going to buy for the price, I'd go for his.
Yeah.
It's not that expensive. His. I can't see Behringer making it like a quarter of that price.
No, I don't think they will. It'll probably be maybe half, but I don't even think it'll be that. I think it'll be
maybe half.
Maybe a bit more.
Yeah, and even if it's half, the purists will definitely go for his, won't they?
Yeah. Well, let me just flag that comment, because Wagoo said it, didn't he?
Yeah.
So if you guys are wondering what we're talking about, let me do this. So there you go. So there was a TD3 stream, and Behringer announced a 12-bit sampler drum machine in the chat, maybe SP1200 or such in the works. It might not be, though. It might be that was it the W? What were we talking about a couple of weeks ago? W30.
W30. Yeah.
Could be that, because they love cloning Roland stuff.
Yeah, I think that would be cool anyway to do that, because there's no. I don't think there's any keyboard out like a similar vein of the W30, is there? Because it's all like on your
pretty original. Yeah.
They've not made anything like that. Today, most of it's like on your MCs and things like that, or your Akai Forces and type of thing.
Yeah, I think
there's no actual physical keyboard like the W30.
The last one that I remember, and I could be wrong, someone will correct me, was the Korg M3, which as a sampling keyboard. So you can actually record into the keyboard and play chromatically back to samples, which I've got a Korg M3. So that was 2007. So that's a while ago. And then you had all the EMU stuff. So you had Insonic, Mirage. So there was all that kind of era, wasn't there, where there were the keyboard samplers. Wasn't there another Roland one? There was a W30, but there was also the S something. Was it the S50? Yeah, it was the S50. I need to double check that. I'm pretty sure there was an S50. That was a sampler. Roland S50. Yep. Jeez, my memory's good. Sampler. Check out the S50. That was in fact, do you guys watch Junkie XL?
Yeah.
One of his videos, he shows off the X50. 16 voice polyphony, 12-bit, 30 kilohertz, 4-part multi-timbral. Yeah, it's got some guts in it. 1986 that came out, the S50. So you can check that one out. That would have been a good one to clone, because that's probably older than the W30. What's the W30? Do you reckon that's 90s? No.
Yeah. Yeah, it's got to be Prodigy.
When did it come out though? It had much more memory in this thing, the W30. Yeah, I reckon that's 90s. That has to be 90s.
Yeah, it's got to be mid 90s, hasn't it?
Yeah, it doesn't actually say in this article that I'm reading. Someone will tell us in chat. But yeah, I mean, if they're going to clone a keyboard sampler, they'd be your two go-tos, wouldn't they? Or if they're not going to do them, they should do the emulators. They were like, I mean, I actually love the sound of an emulator. We could talk all day about what bands have used emulators, and I just showed you a CD.
1988.
There's emulators
Andrew
all over
Buckley
that
just
one.
said.
There's emulators all
1988.
over that CD. 88 was it for the W30?
That's what. That's what Andrew Buckley just said.
All right.
In chat.
So 2 years after the S50. There you go. Yeah, emulator was 8-bit. That's definite. But there's a thing about this is what Inky was saying. You know, the SP 1200 was that's the whole sort of the low bit rate. They were 12-bit, weren't they, Inky? The SP 1200s.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they were 12.
Yeah.
I don't think they were 16.
They were 8. No, they weren't. Yeah, they were 12.
8, they were 12. Yeah, pretty sure. It's hard to have all this knowledge in here and just retrieve it whenever you want. It's not like
especially when someone says something and you know it.
Yeah, it's not like you've heard it before, but you can't just remember everything. And everyone who's in chat, they just Google it and then they post it in chat like, look what I know. When you hear me typing on my keyboard like that, then you know I'm cheating.
Yeah, Akai what was that? Akai S3000. Yeah, I've got 3000 XL, which is in fact, actually, I should get that out, actually, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
Instead of having it locked down there. The S01
populated
well,
self-machine,
which was just
one.
like, yeah,
S3000.
Like,
it sounds like you've got them locked in a dungeon. Where have you got them locked, Darren?
They're just below here in a 19-inch rack under the desk, and none of them gets used. I've got an S950, S3000 XL, and the S01 Akai samplers, and they're just there, they're never used. But I'm a hoarder, aren't I? Any old equipment I like to keep. That's why I had the TI, the orbital sequencer, didn't I? So I mean,
yeah,
if I've got that, I keep my old kit. So
fantastic. He wants to. What we know what we'll do. Do you want me to ask you this off air, or are you okay for you to be dropped and in the? Let's just ask him. Do you want to do the S3000 next week? Actually, you can't do it next week.
No, you can't do it next week. I'd have to see, because the studio's is stripped down at the moment, so I'd have to.
So would 2 weeks notice?
I'll see what I can do.
2 weeks notice?
I'll see what I can do, because
Okay.
it'll have to be all zip drive, and I don't know what a zip drive is.
Yeah.
So,
All right. So
we'll have to work on that one.
Announcement for the channel, just so you guys who are still hanging around. There's still 19 of us here. Cool. All right. So those who do come frequently, next week I am taking my kids camping, so I'm not going to be doing a live stream, but I am going to try my absolute best to get you guys a premiere So that'll be like a video. Like I've done it once before, haven't I, Inky, where I've shown a video and I've set it up so you guys can still jump on and live chat while the video's playing. So, or you can just have a week off like I am. So that will be next week. So no stream next week, but there'll be a premiere. And what was I going to say? So we'll be back the following week, and I've got a really, really good guest coming on that week. Inky knows who he is, so that'll be awesome. I might keep it.
I'm looking forward to that.
I'll keep it a secret from Darren. I think Darren will like this one. So yeah, so we'll see you in 2 weeks' time, and I'll see you. How do I say it? I'll see you. I kind of will see you next week in my premiere, but I won't kind of be here. I'll be camping. You guys can just pretend I'm here. So while we're going, don't forget to let us know a topic. This one was suggested by about 20 different people about the 303, so keep them coming into me. They definitely get listened to. So those who did suggest that topic, you'll know who you are. And other than that, we're going to wave goodbye to everybody. Play some